So welcome everybody. We are about to begin here. Mary Beth is off today. Rachel is going to be playing Mary Beth, and we're about to begin here. This Hangout on Air is the summary of our theme for the week, of course, and our longer discussion continues each week with question and answers on our member conference line. You're always able to find out what we're doing here at those links on your screen. And of course, we'd love to have all of you as members of this community, and you can participate in those Q&As, and we get a chance to have a relationship with you. But for now, let's just relax here and bring through Tara for the Hangout on Air. Welcome to our discussion about the true purpose of your life and other fictions. Today we'll talk some more about who you are and what you're doing here, and how beliefs and core beliefs are all simply choices you're made and practiced into habits of thought. Creating more of what you want is therefore a matter of making new choices and learning new habits. And finally, we'll be encouraging you to lighten up and be easy about all of this. Life is meant to be fun. All of you at some stage or at many stages ponder the meaning of life. And as you cast about for answers, many of you feel that there's something beyond this physical thinking you that knows what those answers are. We agree, there is. Then some of you further choose to believe there's something godlike, separate from you, omnipotent and all-seeing, that puts you here, from which follows that this godlike entity must surely therefore have some divine purpose for your life. And if you can just find out what that purpose is and accept it and get into alignment with it, then all will be well. You will have found your groove. Things will flow, and life will at last be meaningful and joyful and fulfilling. At this point, we have parted company a little, because if you're seeking to know your life's purpose, and if you put off that decision to some higher power, then you're really seeking to know the mind of that godlike entity. And there have been millions of lifetimes spent writing millions of books on that subject, with lots of empirical answers and detailed explanations, mostly derived from what things look like in your physical, finite world. We would just say this: if you've chosen to believe that there's a God that has a purpose for you, and if that feels right to you, if it feels good to you, then go for it. You always have the freedom to make those choices. As Abraham to Esther Hicks is wont to say, you are so free, you can choose bondage. And indeed you can. The purpose of this discussion today, of all of our discussions, is about finding a path to peace and power and fun and freedom. Our intent here is to share with you our perspective, which in turn can become part of your perspective. We invite you to see that there's a greater context within which you are free to make that choice or any choice at all. That's something beyond this physical thinking you, of which we spoke earlier, that knows what you're doing here, is what some call your higher self. We would describe it more as a connection, the always present connection you have to the universal consciousness of all that is. As we discussed last week, you all have a story. And for each of you, your story is unique to you. There may be some similarities to the stories of others, but yours is yours. It's a story about a physical world and a non-physical world. It's an adventure with the past and an adventure with things to come. You created it and you stepped into it. You're here to experience the excitement of mixing it up with those other characters you've attracted, including us. You're here to create new chapters with new twists to the plot. You're the author, director, and the leading actor all in one. You're here on the leading edge of creation. Whoever you are, we can tell you some things about your story. Mostly it's a work of fiction. But there are some things you didn't make up and you cannot change. Like any work of fiction, it has a non-fictional foundation that you are a part of, an always connected extension of universal consciousness, is non-fiction. That the law of attraction organizes everything is non-fiction. It orchestrates everything in our experience and everything in your experience. Those are the absolutes about you and us and every consciousness in every realm. But everything else is fiction. And all of that can be rewritten, even your so-called past. There's something else that's fundamental about your story. There are parts of it that are wanted, and there are parts that are unwanted. That's also the nature of life everywhere, in every realm. And it's certainly true about this game of life on Earth. You all experience contrast. And as we respond to your questions about how to create more of the wanted bits and less of the unwanted bits, we find that it helps if we can persuade you to lessen, just a little, your grip on the reality of it all. Our intent is to encourage you into an increasing and ever-present awareness of the context of your existence. We're going to discuss some examples of fictional elements that you might have in your story. But before we do that, let's be clear once again that we're not trying to talk you out of any part of it. No story is inherently better than any other. No story is more worthy than any other. All stories are created equal. You chose this experience for the fun of it, and neither we nor any godlike entity sits in judgment about any of it. You chose to be here in this story, and we delight in these intersections we have with you, where we are, in effect, engaging in your story through these interactions. So let's look at those examples. Do you believe, as above, that your life has a particular purpose? And if you can find out what that is, things will flow? Do you believe or disbelieve that your physical body will age and deteriorate, eventually causing your death? Do you believe that you've had past lives and prior relationships with others living now? Do you believe that the world is purely physical world, and after death there is nothing? Do you believe that something non-physical is looking out for you and orchestrating things for you? Do you believe that you live in one shared world with everybody else on the planet? Do you believe that the alignment of the stars when you were born tells you what sort of person you are? As you heard these examples, Did you find yourself thinking, yes, I believe that, or no, I don't believe that? Those are belief choices. None of them is right or wrong. They are simply choices, and they are self-sustaining, because having made them, your world, unique to you, conforms. Making a belief choice is a conscious act. But then when you practice them deeply and permanently into your subconscious tapestry of expectations, they become your story. They become the screenplay of your movie. Mostly you never consciously revisit them again. They're just the ever-present, always there facts of life. Let's spell this out in some detail here. We call those belief choices self-sustaining because once made and aligned with, which means practiced into subconscious solidarity, by law of attraction, they attract the physical and non-physical reality that wraps itself around you, which in turn proves that the choice you made was right. Do you see how that works? You make a choice, the world conforms, that proves the choice was right. And pretty soon you've forgotten all about the choice, and then that's just the way things are. Well, we're here to remind you that the world out there is actually in here. It's all an inside job. When you make a new choice and align with it, you create a new reality. So think about your created world as it is right now. If those past choices of yours are serving you, we say play on and have fun. If they're not serving you, if they're causing some of that not wanted stuff in your life, we encourage you to see them as variable. You're not trapped by any of them. You can choose and choose again. Now we know we're using words like play on and have fun and calling life a game and always encouraging you to lighten up about everything. We're doing that consciously and deliberately, even though some of you react quite strongly to those words because you think it makes it all sound trivial. You say things like, surely there has to be some more lofty and divine purpose to it all. We say, when you get to that place of understanding, to the state of ongoing awareness of your own divinity, you will find that there is nothing more fulfilling than putting your hands in the clay of all that is and creating new things. Your true purpose, the very reason you eagerly chose to be here, is for the joyful experience of creating in this very focused space-time world. Knowing who you are is truly profound. It's the doorway to that place of peace and power and fun and freedom we talked of earlier. And there is nothing less trivial or more purposeful or more important in heaven or earth than being in that place. So our encouragement to you all is to hold your beliefs lightly, even those core beliefs that seem so fundamental to who you are. They are all choices you made. They are all choices you can revisit. You are the master of your destiny, and if you want to, you can move a little each day more and more into the awareness that you are never a victim of circumstances. You are the storyteller. And yes, this story is in the fiction section of the library, but it is a magnificent story. Writing it and telling it and rewriting it and retelling it is why you are here. So this, therefore, is our theme for the week. And our longer discussion continues right now on our member conference called Lighten.